15-40. First game, fourth set.
Still break point for Rod Laver. There's Charlton Heston, an absolute tennis nut. This can be a tough second serve to get in and get deep. A lot of pressure right now.
They're watching it live.
So many rocket barrackers and all tennis enthusiasts will want to see Connors too, because Jimmy was particularly popular out there.
He played so well, but lost to Newcomb.
We hear it all the time in sports, the thing about momentum, but at this stage it looks as though the momentum has swung a little bit in Rod's favor. Connors is not playing as confidently. He's making more errors, and Rod is coming on strong.
And it seemed to change at the end of the fourth game in the third set. That was the turning point for Laver.
First of all, both these players play. They hit it so hard and so well, anything can change very quickly. Serve up the middle by Rod Laver puts him up 30-15.
Harry, I think you figured he'd do that about 30-40% of the time.
About that,
Pop, I don't think Rod made the second shot that he wanted to make there. He's trying to go cross-court with it and didn't get it over there at all, and gave Connors a real good shot at the ball. And
let him off, didn't he?
That's right. He let him off the hook. Just out. And just like that, Jimmy Connors has a point for a break to get even at 1-all in the fourth set. And the fans say, let's go. Break point. Out over the baseline. And Jimmy Connors breaks right back to level at 1-all in the fourth set.
The fourth time that he's broken Laver's serve, but the first time since the second set.
That was a big game for both players. It was important for Connors to try to break and get right back in it. Important for Laver to keep the momentum.
Yeah, Rocket had the chance to keep it going too, Tony.
Over on that deep forehand. He had a lot of action on that.
Trying to hit some looping balls, take a little speed off, and make it bounce a little higher. There's the great Joe Louis.
The champ.
Yeah. The champ is right. In my opinion, the greatest heavyweight of all times. And even Howard Cosell's here. Connors lost to John Newcomb in the finals of the Australian Open recently. I thought one of the things that helped Newcomb was the ability to change pace and change the spins and speeds a little bit. Rod is trying to do a little bit of that himself. on the rocket.
Oh, what a shot.
Here we go again. Let's take another look at that. A terrific rally. Connors comes in down the line. Good deep shot, and what a backhand cross court. Holy Moses. You know, it's not as if Connors made a short approach shot. He had it about 4 feet from the baseline.
And plenty of time to get in.
Ball goes up the line. Rod hits a backhand down the line. A volley cross court. Laver gets to it, and Connors blocks the ball back into the open court. Terrific tennis. Wow. Connors taking a little more time now between serves.
Movie miracles. He's looking at one here. You know, this is a Hollywood script.
It sure is. Connors taking much more time now. That doesn't bother Laver any.
No, it would help him, if anything, I think, Tony.
Hit short balls that point. Rod really made a poor shot and a bad error. 40-30. 1-all in the fourth set. Connors leads 2-1. $100,000 from Caesar's Palace. Fine low return by Laver.
They go to deuce. They haven't been a deuce since the 7th game in the second set. I would think that you lose a lot of effectiveness on that high shot indoors. You got a lot more going for you outside, don't you, Harry, on that shot?
Well, you can be more accurate inside.
But you have wind to help you and everything else.
That didn't bother the event because Jimmy let it land, you see.
You should never hit a defensive lob in the air because the other player can recover before you can touch it anyway, and the second time it comes down, it's coming down more slowly, so it's easier to time. Again, Connors has the ad. I talked to Pancho Segura, and one of the things they said was that if Laver was coming in on Connors' second serve, they would serve to his forehand instead of his backhand because Rod doesn't like to chip the forehand and come in like he does the backhand. Jimmy has been doing that some this game. That's going to go out. point for Rod Laver. We've already had 2 breaks in this 4th set.
Out of 2 games.
Back to deuce. Good deep serve by Connors. Laver's forehand caught the tape. Doesn't look too worried, does he? There's an awful lot going on inside, though.
To deuce 7 times in the 4th game of the 1st set. That's when it looked like we were going to be here till next Thursday. Passing shot down the line, they go back to deuce again.
But he picked the overhead that time. He made a good deep defensive lob. And again, Connor smashed into Laver's forehand side, and Rod Guestright this time was there and got back in the point.
Connors. A nice, confident smash, wasn't it?
Right, Jimmy said that he likes the high forehand volley. He really likes to power it. He feels that really is his best volley of all.
Very confident there.
None of us like him down too low. Connors has not hit that serve well up the center in the ad court. He's missed quite a few of them.
Now that looks like a very interesting situation. My broker's really enthusiastic about it. What does your broker say?
Well, my broker is E.F. Hutton, and E.F. Hutton says, when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
A reminder, immediately following today's sports spectacular, there's an NBA game on tap with the Milwaukee Bucks meeting the Boston Celtics. These clubs played 7 great games last year in the championship series. There should be another exciting contest coming up next on CBS.
We'll be picking that one up in progress, won't we, the way this tennis match is going?
Tony, it was love 30. Rod had love 30 and then
one break point.
One break point.
Okay, so we're still on serve.
Harry, do a little mind reading right now. What do you think M.O. is telling Rod?
Well, after that game, I would suggest that he's telling him he should try and go in there anytime Jimmy's got a short ball, because Jimmy's coming in. Rod has made one beautiful backhand pass there, but he lost 3 points as Connors came in.
I agree, Harry. You have to really press these people. There's Pancho Segura, and many feel that he has one of the smartest tennis minds in the history of the game. He gets much of the credit for the progress Connors has made. That hand is for Rod Laver, coming out on the court.
His mother said that Segura is the only professional she would trust Jimmy with. meaning she felt Segura would not change him at all and would just polish up the game that she felt was set way back when he was 7.
Yep.
There's Johnny Carson, Clint Eastwood.
Both avid tennis players.
There we go.
They don't play quite as well as these two, though.
One of them is as quick with the tongue as he is as Rod. These two are with the racket.
True. Love.
I started to say earlier that you have to take the short ball and go in regardless of how well someone hits passing shots or ground strokes. You have to continually insert pressure if you can on the other player.
Fall.
He's trying to cut that backhand and didn't do it.
Short return by Laver when a short approach shot, but it really was sort of effective as it turned out because it stayed low and Jimmy had to stretch, but he made a good shot by keeping his shot low and Rod missed a backhand volley.
A bad one, that.
Okay, Laver serves, good return, good get, volley, and another terrific get. It's a let ball, just drops over, and Rod touches the ball and just bunts it back over for a winner, and Connors knocks it right up into the ceiling. 30-15. 1-2 in the fourth set. Connors leads 2-1.
I hope you noticed, Vin, in that second last point, your influence on the game. That girl who caught the ball put the ball in her pocket.
Right. We got some baseball pads here.
They usually throw them back at tennis.
Strike five. 40-30. Laver now putting on a little heat as he comes back, so it's 2 games apiece.
Game, Mr. Laver. Games are 2-all. 4 set. New balls, please.
The second serve in the first 2 sets, Laver lost. He won the first serve in each case, lost it the second time. He held on there and leveled it 2-all. If by chance we get the 6-all, we have the 12-point tiebreaker.
Or as Harry calls it, the 12-point heartbreaker.
A heartbreaker, but can be, can't it?
Okay, Connor serving with new balls.
Love, 15.
If there are any weaknesses to a two-handed shot, in my opinion, is stretching the player out real wide or getting it down low in front of the two-handed side. You just don't have the same control, balance, and reach that you do one-handed.
That was one obvious part of Laver's strategy going in, I'm sure.
Can't do that in this league.
No, the short shot by Laver really got him in trouble. Jimmy came in and Rod's backhand was much too high. That's why you come to the net. You put the onus on the other player. Say, beat me.
Volley up and adios.
First serve, please.
Okay, now, in case some of the viewers don't recognize what happened, the linesman, Hugh Stewart, called a fault, made a correction because he realized he'd made a mistake, so that means 2 serves. And the players would much prefer that than to have a stubborn linesman stick to a bad decision.
Well, he really carried that shot before he let it go.
30-15.
He might have played a little close to the sideline and he wanted to, but he got away with it. 30-15.
Ball.
Comes back now.
Look at that again. Much better depth by Lavery. Comes in on a pretty deep shot. Anticipated the cross-court return and hit the forehand volley for a winner. And we're back live at 30-all. 2-all in the 4th set. Connors serving the near court. Lavery in the far court. Very short second serve that time.
Dangerous. It was out. It was out. It's Schroeder calling.
And you know, I think Rod Laver played an out ball. I think Jimmy's ball was going to go long.
Look that way.
Rod was in good shape. He was in perfect position. There's really no need to take a chance. He figured he had the easy play, but he missed a volley. And it's 40-30.
Very vital point, wasn't it?
At this stage, they all get pretty vital, don't they, Hop?
Yeah, that's it.
Just out. Wins the game, takes the lead in the 4th set, 3-2. This has come back again in the 4th set to lead 3-2, and the crowd seems, at least for the moment, a little quieter, and is getting hotter by the minute in the pavilion.
Then
Boston leading Milwaukee 18-12 in the first period for the big round ball buffs. Remember, that game will follow us just as Andy Williams follows tennis.
Ben, you mentioned earlier that it was an over 30 crowd. Actually, I think to me it's more like it was slightly anti-Connors because of all the publicity. Right. This sort of thing would change because Jimmy's so good.
That's Mary Neighbor wearing that very colorful hat. Mary and Rod, along with their young son Ricky, who is 5½, but they had to send Ricky home. They said the pressure was getting too much and the match was getting to him, so they sent him home. Love.
That was a very polite way of saying they got rid of the kids.
That was a good second serve by Lavery. He served tight into Connors' one-hander. Jimmy pulled it wide.
Connors was anticipating all guns firing if he went under on that one.
30 love.
30 love. Laver levels at 3-all in the 4th set.
Laver. games are 3-all, 4 set.
Somebody lets out a holler, and that summed up the enthusiasm of the crowd. It sounded like a cowboy hollering on the last roundup.
And in case you joined us late, Jimmy Connors won the first set 6-4. He broke serve twice to win the second 6-2. Rod Laver came back to win the third 6-3, and we're 3-all in the fourth set with Jimmy Connors to serve.
And there'll probably be a couple of those yippies on the old Laver cattle station.
I guess so.
Here he comes. And Connors points his finger and says, oh, no, you don't. You're not going to come in and get me.
15 love.
If he can do that, he's right.
Connors answered back with a yahoo, then shook his head as if to say that was no time to do it.
And Cody Fields gets a big kick out of it.
Turnabout is fair play. And now Laver's has pulled everything. He walks off the court.
This is where you have to be careful not to let your concentration be broken.
That's the first bit of byplay we've had all day. Leading now, 30 love.
I still think if Laver continues to do that, he'll have a lot of success with it. Jimmy's made two fine shots. Yes, they're going in behind second serves.
Maybe a little further away from him.
And that'll also put more pressure on Connors' second serve if he does it enough times.
John Newcomb feels he doesn't have confidence in the second serve. 30-15.
That was just a human error, bad error by Connors. I guess you're entitled to those once in a while.
Fourth set, they're even 3 games apiece.
That ball would have been well out, even though if it hadn't hit the net, it was going to be quite wide. And it's 40-15. Connors serving from the far court to Rod Laver in the near court. Let's see if he serves a second serve to his forehand to keep him from chipping and coming in.
Interesting to notice, Jimmy serves. His mother's eyes are riveted on Laver. Did not watch him serve.
And again, a fine counter smash into Laver's forehand wins the game. And Connors now leads 4-3 in the fourth set.
Mr.
And he leads 2-1.
4-3, fourth set.
So Jimmy Connors fighting hard to stay even in this fourth set. He had badly outplayed Rod Laver in the first 2 sets, Vin Scully, and Rod came back and won the third, and they're on serve at this point. They both have lost 1 serve in the first 2 games of the fourth set.
I was just thinking, you're standing down on the court, you're 36 years old, you've got to cover an area 39 by 27 against an opponent who's 22 hitting bullets. It seems to be extremely hot here in the pavilion, and yet Rod is in marvelous shape. I don't believe conditioning will have anything to do with the match.
I don't think so. Rod would probably answer you by saying any kangaroo can.
Any kangaroo can.
Well, you know, they're both, as you mentioned, weigh about 150 pounds.
Right.
They're in fine shape. They're very quick. Rod Laver has worked very hard the last 6 weeks to get in top shape, and because of all the things he has won in the past, he said it's hard for me to get emotionally ready, but he said I got ready for the Davis Cup last year when we played the United States. He said I'm really excited about playing this match, and he is emotionally ready. Jimmy Connors, being young and sort of in his prime, maybe he hadn't reached the top yet, he is always eager. He comes out smoking all the time.
Yeah.
So I have great respect for both of them. They're playing tremendous tennis.
And we'll pause.
And this is good for
fourth set. Labor down in games 3-4. And it's love 15 on his serve.
He had a fine first serve there, and Jimmy just ripped that one hand, and Rod couldn't handle the volley.
15 all. Connors leading in sets 2-1, and in games 4-3 here in the fourth set.
3 good first serves this game by Labor.
Was trying to drill that corner, and he just missed it.
Connors doing a little moving around on it.
But he missed the inside corner of that service court and came back and got the outside.
That's 40-15.
Still only one Labor double fault.
Fourth set.
This is a young lady, I think, that's bugging Connors a little bit, sort of needling him a little bit. Labor has served 4 aces and 1 double fault. Connors has served no aces and 3 double faults. Connors waits for the crowd to quiet down. 4 all in the fourth. We might get a tiebreaker here.
It's a pretty important game now for Jimmy. Away.
15 love.
Boston leading Milwaukee 28-18.
We had a quick flash there of the referee, Pancho Gonzalez.
The deputy referee is sitting directly below and in front of umpire Gus Lana, and of course that would be Bob Howe from Sydney. There he is.
Now living in England.
Long way to come to be the deputy.
Here he comes.
Jimmy Connors for a winner. You know, you've heard the crowd murmur. There was one shot there, and I think most of the people here thought Connors was out on a down-the-line shot.
Beautiful shot, that one
Right.
they put out.
Love.
40 love.
That was a good kick serve by Connors. Kicked it up and out on Labor's backhand in the deuce court.
So
Jimmy Connors holds serve at love. He now leads 5 games to 4 in the fourth set. He leads 2 sets to 1.
Connors.
we're going to the 10th game in the fourth set. Connors leading 5 games to 4 and leading 2-1 in sets. He won 6-4, 6-2. Labor came back in the third set to win 6-3, and this one very much up for grabs.
And Lee Trevino notwithstanding, there's pressure here serving at 4-5, being down 2 sets to 1, even though you got $20 in your pocket.
Yeah.
That'll be the third racket that Jimmy will need, so that T2000 is exploding.
Might as well
Looking strange.
Might as well try a white one.
Might as well try a white one, says Jimmy.
I think he's got a light one. baseline.
15 all.
2 fine serves by Laver, 2 excellent returns by Connors, and there's Alan King, another big tennis enthusiast.
Rod Laver won his tournament here last year in May. A reminder, it's the Celtics and the Bucks coming up right after the match.
30-15.
Shaking his head. He had it open. It was there for him, and he was too long.
He missed a very easy volley there.
Oh. Most unlabory, that one.
Quiet, please.
30 all. So Connors is 2 points away from winning this match. Laver is 2 points away from even at 5 all. Now he's 1 point away. Service ace number 5 for Rod Laver, the true mark of a champion. Come out with something big when you really need it. 40-30. Sensational forehand up the line by Jimmy Connors to get even at deuce. Boy, he did a terrific job to get that serve back.
A lovely passing shot.
There's a familiar Connors gesture blowing on that hand. Advantage Laver.
Now Connors has taken a look at Hugh Stewart, the service linesman, trying to sort of intimidate him. Hugh Stewart gives him a big safe sign. He said the serve is definitely good. That's advantage Laver. We're back to deuce. That was a forced error by Connors. He really drilled that two-hander.
Volley and let it get away.
And here we are at match point for Jimmy Connors.
Out. Advantage Connors.
Well, the lights can go out here.
And again, this can be a tough second serve to get in and get in deep. I know Rod wants to come in. Alan King enjoying this tennis.
And they're at deuce again.
Quiet, please.
Serve line. Laver gets out and knocks the volley down the line. Can't recover, and Connors rolls across court for a winner. And again, it's match point for Jimmy Connors.
Out of sight.
Match point number 2 for Connors. He lost the first one, missing a forehand up the line. Service ace.
Every time he's at his back to the wall, Laver's been able to get down and come up with a big blow. So he's still got his head above water. They go to deuce for the 4th time.
Well, what more could you ask for?
Great match. hits that net. Out over the baseline. Over the baseline for sure.
And match point number 3 for Connors.
Rocket is certainly taxing that reputation of coming to the big one at the right time, isn't
He's been on the ropes 3 times now.
Yep.
And you know, when you play a guy like Connors, this one swipe at that ball and it can be all over.
All over.
Third.
And Jimmy Connors sort of shakes his head, say, wow, what do I have to do? Hit it like a bomb twice. Laver had the answer, is back to deuce.
Wow, he just tucked it in, too. Out. Just out. That's the first time it's been advantage Laver now since they went to deuce.
Advantage Laver.
Because it is the first time that Gus Lana has been able to sing that out in this game.
And they weren't sure the lob was out. It was a very close call, but a correct call made by Ted Schroeder.
Right. And Ted holds his throat as if to say how close it was to call it.
Might have choked. No, he made a good call, but it was close.
Half volley. And Jimmy Connors comes back. You know, sometimes when this match first started, you had to resist the temptation to say in the purple trunks and in the white trunks because it was billed so much as a fight, and they are fighting now.
Back to deuce.
Marvelous. Just wonder how many times Connors can get him on the ropes and then not put him away.
And this is match point number 4 for Jimmy Connors. Laver has served up the middle in the ad court. Let's see what he does this time.
Swing it.
That first serve has been deserting him lately.
Will come in behind this one. Good deep approach.
He called it out. Now, Jimmy, no, Jimmy. It was called out by Ted Schroeder.
And there was so much crowd noise, Jimmy Connors didn't even know it.
There's Ted now. He had the toughest call of the day.
There's Ted Schroeder. Let's take another look at it. There was no hesitation on Schroeder's part. Now watch it. Here it comes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Laver getting back. Watch it.
Quiet, please.
Just past the baseline.
Right. Teddy was right there, holds his fingers up to us, knowing that we've been looking at the replay, and he held index finger about an inch away from his thumb, and that's just about how far out it was. And this crowd is slowly being whipped into a frenzy now.
May we have quiet, please?
Gus Lana asking for quiet. Jimmy has to be so disappointed after thinking he won.
Could be tough for him to settle down again.
Deuce again. Okay, you know, they start to wear you out, and now suddenly it moves over.
Match point number 5.
Right.
Number 5 for Connors.
He's done it again. Rod Laver slipping the ace in to get the deuce.
That's absolutely tremendous, isn't it?
There's Mrs. Gloria Connors. Producer for this marvelous match, Frank Trickinian. Our director, Bob Daly. Associate producer, Bob Rowe.
And Laver has the ad, struggling to get even at 5-all. He saved 5 match points.
Number 5, Ace wasn't there. Came up empty.
I think they've gotten their money's worth.
Oh, sure. There isn't a protester in the house. Except maybe Jimmy Connors. On that call by Ted Schroeder.
No, Jimmy accepted it well, didn't he?
He just didn't hear the call because of the crowd noise.
Oh. Right. Here we go. Jimmy Connors, that's his first. 15 Raj had 7, and Pancho Segura deep in thought.
Can you imagine being that close to 100 grand and not put it in your pocket?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Over the baseline.
30 love.
Rod would like to get a point or two in this game at least to sort of settle down a little bit before he has to go back and serve another game.
That was a big
effort. That was exciting. You know, you really get to trembling here.
My palms are wet right now.
That was a ball. Jimmy a little unhappy on it. Bill Reardon is visibly unhappy on it. Crowd hollered out. Gus Lana shook his, or shrugged his shoulders and
no
said,
one will believe in Bill anyhow.
Well, look at that again. A good return by Laver. Connors hits a good deep ball, short by Laver, and Laver goes down the line. A terrific cross-court volley by Connors. Now we're back live. Connors did some job to stretch out and still make that kind of an offensive volley cross-court.
Right balance there, didn't he?
The players.
In fairness to the players, if someone in the stand should call out, the player does not know if it's a linesman or one in the stands. I must please request you not to call out, or you will be.
I would say a very solid performance by Gus Lanham.
Right. There's too much at stake.
40-15.
Not what you really call vague, huh?
Well, he didn't beat around the bush.
Okay, here we go. 40-15, 5-all in the fourth set. Connors leads 2-1. Laver survived 5 match points in the last game.
Jimmy bounces his racket, and it bounced over the net, almost hit Segura. And that's the first outward display that causes the wrath of the crowd. Let's take another look at the deciding point in the 11th game.
Okay, Connors makes a good serve. Laver does a good job to get it back. Connors comes back cross court. Rod goes down the line, and Connors blocks the volley into the open court. Good play by both players.
I don't think the tape was still running, and we missed what happened with Jimmy's racket, and I think a lot of people might have misinterpreted it.
I think they did. Jimmy was tried to bounce the ball backwards to say, there you go, I'll show you, and he sort of lost his racket in the process and bounced over the net. He really did not throw the racket.
With his reputation, had he lost that game, they would have certainly thought he threw the racket.
Tremendous ovation for both players as they come back out on the court. Rod Laver getting ready to serve at 5-6 in the fourth set. He trails 2-1. $100,000 to the winner.
They ought to take the 10th game of this set in a time. That's a fall.
Bad error by Laver. Connors hit a short ball, and Rod tried to take it on the run coming in and really made a bad shot. Hit it halfway down the net.
Usually plays at will, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Connors has broken Laver's serve once back in the second game of the set. Oh, Jimmy deserved to dance a little better luck that time.
Actually, Laver had anticipated correctly, but the ball was hit so hard it bounced off of the net and over Laver's head for a winner, and it's now love 30. Once again, Rod Laver is 2 points from being out of this match. Jimmy Connors is 2 points away from winning $100 grand.
It hit the net and in the corner, and if Dame Fortune was ever smiling down on Jimmy, it's 2 points in a row, and he knows it.
And his triple match point,
14. Luck be a lady tonight.
I'm not so sure Rod would have had a play on that ball anyway. He was sort of looking for it down the line.
Yep. He can jump in the air for keeps this time. Jimmy Connors defeats Rod Laver 7-5 to win 3 of the 4 sets. 6-4, 6-2, 3-6, 7-5. As Mrs. Gloria Connors, the proud mother, and her mother died a couple of years ago. The two ladies who were so important in the life and growth of Jimmy Connors, the #1 tennis player in the world. And so I guess in a sense the battle cry could be, the king is dead, long live the king.
He's the king at the moment.
People are devoting a lot of thought to small cars these days and to saving money. Well, Buick offers small cars of a very high order. Buick's V6 Skyhawk and Skylark. And if you get a new Skyhawk, you'll receive a $500 cash rebate from Buick. Or $200 if you get a new Buick Skylark. Just take delivery now through February 28, 1975, and the money's yours. See your Buick dealer. Buick, to the free spirit.
All right, we're here at the net, just waiting the presence here of our winner, Mr. James Connors. And We have a little money to give away and a few other niceties. Jimmy, who also promised if he won he would sing "I'm a American Pie Guy" for us all here today. Here he comes now, the winner of this $100,000 match, James Connors. Mr. Bill Weinberger, the president of Caesar's Palace.
Jimmy, congratulations. On behalf of all of the staff at Caesar's Palace, I want to present this check to you for $100,000. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Weinberger. Wow. Thank you, Caesar's Palace, for, I guess, making this match between Rod and myself come off. It was a lot of talk, I guess, right after Forest Hills. I think it was the toughest match I've ever had in my life. And I think if everything is possible, as I think it is in today's times, in today's tennis, if Rod is willing, I'm willing to maybe have a rematch sometime in the near future.
All right, Jim, right next to us here is Mr. Bob Ingersoll from the Buick Division of General Motors has something for you.
Congratulations on a super match. And on behalf of Buick, local dealers across the country, I want to present you with these keys to this beautiful 1975 Buick Riviera.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I don't think it's possible to go away from such an event as this without having great linesmen and great ball boys. We had a lot of people here today that were on the lines that were unbelievable players in their time, and even now, in their time now. And I'd just like to thank them and everybody here. Pancho Gonzalez for being the referee with Bob Howe. My coach, Pancho Segura, who is here with me and his family. My mom was here also for a change. But everything was great, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Jimmy Connors. Well, this had all the earmarks of being a heavyweight championship fight. Indeed, Rod Laver had to climb into the court here when he came, and I don't know whether you saw, but at the change of courts, they both go over to their managers and defend and towel just like boxers. And it was something to remember. A tennis match everyone here who saw it will remember for a long while. What did we prove here today? I don't think anything more than we knew coming in. That Rod Laver was an established star, that Jimmy Connors was an up-and-coming one, and that today Jimmy Connors was the best left-hander on this particular Sunday in February. What we had here was a classic confrontation, which is such an enjoyable thing in sports. We had the old against the young. We had the brash, cocky American against the dignified, soft-spoken Australian. We had the young rebel against the older pioneer. And today, at least, the youngster won, but not easily. It was a fine match. Rod Laver, you've read about, of course, is a slow starter. Well, you know how slow he started today. He's like myself. You need 4 or 5 cups of coffee in the morning before you can get going. And Rod waited just perhaps a little too long that he could pull it off here today. Also, what comes to mind here, since professional open tennis has come along, we've had tennis matches in some rather bizarre places. In Khartoum, the pros even once played in downtown St. Louis on the streets during lunch hour. But seldom has a match been held in an ambience further away from the stately lawns of England than this one. Why, my dear, this is a gambling hell. Not only that, but it's a gambling hell done in early decline of the Roman Empire decor. A lot of these spectators here came out of elevators with Roman numerals on them, out of a coffee shop called the Nostorium, and of course out of the casino in there that's alive with the sound of clicking slot machines. But these Romans here in Las Vegas promote entertainment very well as the old Romans promoted their empire. And this is yet another symbol of how far the great old game of tennis has gone. A minor milestone here today. As I said, I don't think it proves anything. Jimmy Connors, a rising young superstar. We can't tell yet how far he can go with that tremendous talent. We already know how far Rod Laver has come. All right, let's throw it back up to Vin Scully.
Thank you, Jack. I think Rod Laver's luster remains as bright as ever. Certainly a man who could dodge bullets, as he did in the 10th game of the last set when he was at match point 5 times and survived. It is still the Rod Laver, but he is 36 years old. And Rod Laver received an ovation as he walked out. Jimmy Connor made a lot of friends here today, and of course also took over his rightful position as the #1 player. So it was a marvelous day, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Now, this is Vin Scully for Jack Whitaker, for Tony Trabert, and for Harry Hoffman. Wishing you all a very pleasant good afternoon from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada.
CBS Sports Spectacular is produced by CBS Television Sports.
CBS Sports Spectacular, yeah!
A cavalcade of great entertainment with the top stars in show business. See The Sullivan Years, a tribute to Ed, with host Dick Cavett tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central on CBS.
George, I just love our new Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
But what I really like is the terrific way it handles in slippery weather.
I like the way it navigates the rocks and sand back
Yes,
in the
George,
boondocks.
but you know what weather makes me nervous. Remember the big snow? Those roads were terrible. I felt so secure the way my Cherokee hugged the road.
What about the way four-wheel drive handles mud, huh? Besides, whose Cherokee is this?
Mine.
Mine.
It's ours.
Okay, ours.
Jeep Cherokee, the versatile family-size Jeep and a half.
Men's watches have progressed from stem winding to self-winding to the ultimate, the LED quartz electronic. This is the magnificent Kentronics LED quartz. Push this button for bright instant time. Push another and read the date. Push both and tick off the seconds. This incredible watch sells for $250, but for just 3 days on sale for $149.95 at the May Company, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only.
KNXT, Los Angeles.
We are at halftime at the Boston Garden, and the Celtics have been conducting a clinic. They lead the Milwaukee Bucks 57-44. Watch Paul Westphal, number 44, break down the center of your screen with a steal, take it all the way for the stuff. The second-year pro from Southern Cal has scored 10 points. Now, if you're looking for interesting things that happened in the first half, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored 10 points, but Oscar, he now is saddled with 3 fouls. That could be very important here in the last 24 minutes. What will Milwaukee have to do to get back in this game?
Well, one thing we'll have to do, Brent, is play better defense because they're not getting back on the break. Boston is running very good right now, and if they can continue to do this, the confidence is up, and they're going to play a great game.
Oh, Paul Silas gave us a show rebounding, didn't he?
Well, he does. He does a good job when he's in there. He seems to have a great smell for the ball no matter where it is on the board. But I think Collins has been very active against Kareem, has done a great job against him inside on the defense.
Bobby Dandridge, the high point man for both teams with 14. Now, Pat Summerall will have highlights of the first half. He'll be along with Sonny Hill right after this message.
You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. He knows you need to fix things, he shows you how you can. His price is right on everything, and he's got your favorite brand. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. Yeah, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
Isn't this the way you want to love? The way you look says a lot about you.
The man who uses Vitalis liquid has neat, well-groomed hair. He wants it that way because he knows it's a look that says a lot. Vitalis liquid.
The way you look says a lot about you.
I am no longer the greatest. Ridge is. He's fighting multiple sclerosis, a disease that comes out of nowhere. It may attack your arms, your legs, sometimes your speech, your eyes, or even worse. He's fighting to keep his body going until we find the cure. We've got to find the cure for Ridge and hundreds of thousands of others. We can whip MS if you help, and then you will be the greatest.
Pat Summerall and Sonny Hill in CBS Sports Control here in New York. And Sonny, of course, is our CBS NBA basketball editor. So it's time for NBA News, our weekly look at scores, highlights, and the action around the league. And Sonny, yesterday, in trades in the NBA, the New York Knicks picked up Neil Walk and Jim Barnett from the New Orleans Jazz. They gave up Henry Bibby, a first-round draft choice in 1975, and $100,000 in cash. What do you think?
Well, I think the key in the trade is Neil Walk because of the fact that he's an outside shooter. He should fit in very well with the Knicks' perimeter-style offense. The other key is the #1 draft pick for the New Orleans team. They had given up their #1 draft pick in the Pete Maravich deal when they first came into the league. And also Henry Bibby, who should fit in very well with Pete Maravich because Henry's a great outside shooter and he has great quickness.
Jim Barnett, I guess you'd have to say, would be sort of the sleeper in this trade.
Well, Barnett is an old pro, and he should fit in very well with the Knicks because he's an aggressive ball player, and he also should be a very good crowd-appealing ball player because he's exciting out on the floor.
He has the reputation of being somewhat of a flake, I think you'd have to say.
I agree with you.
All right, and Kansas City, this is another trade now. Kansas City Omaha traded Nate Williams for New Orleans Rick Adelman and Ollie Johnson, and what do you think of that?
I'm a big Ollie Johnson fan. I know him from Philadelphia, from the Big Five, and I think he will help the Kansas City Omaha Kings with the strong side forward. He can rebound, he plays excellent defense, and Nate Williams will give the New Orleans team a strong swing man. He can play front and back, and he's a great outside shooter.
Okay, Sonny, let's check out scores. This last night now, Detroit won 19, Buffalo won 13.
In that particular ball game, McAdoo and Bob Lanier had a shootout, and McAdoo came out a little ahead in scoring, and also he led his team to victory. Notice here Dave Bing as he sets up Bob Lanier. Now he clears the area. Lanier now goes to the basket for a hook shot. Notice the quickness on the part of Lanier, and also the strength as he goes back to the basket. They say turnabout is fair play, so McAdoo is able to do what he can do best. It's a lot of pressure from Lanier. Now he goes to the basket, and quickness is his game. Field goal. Good defense on the part of the Buffalo team, and they like to run. McAdoo with the rebound. Kicks it out to McMillan. Oh, that's Dar Hurd. Hurd finds Smith. Field goal. Now we'll see the Detroit Pistons with good defense by Lanier. This is called a controlled fast break, and that's what Detroit likes to do. Bing waiting for the lanes to be filled. Finds Adams. Adams with the pass into Lanier. That's called finding the open man. Good smart basketball on the part of Chris Ford and Bob Lanier. Chris calls for the screen. Lanier sets the screen, rolls away. Now as he rolls away, Chris Ford goes over top as he's open for a jump shot. Good basketball.
So that was last night. Ford, by the way, had a big game, one of his biggest as a pro. Cleveland 112, Atlanta 108.
They needed that. Cleveland is fighting for a playoff berth, so any wins they get, they will appreciate them.
I'm sure they will. And Seattle 93, Portland 91.
Portland could also say, should I say Seattle should say, thank you, Archie Clark, because he had a jump shot with 5 seconds to go in the ball game.
A couple of games this afternoon in the NBA. One of them is over. Philadelphia beat Houston 90-77.
Philadelphia's playing good basketball, even though Steve Nicks is out hurt now. Gene Shue has that ball club playing good defense.
There's one other game underway right now, Washington at Chicago, but no scores yet. We talked a little bit earlier about Bob Lanier's performance against Buffalo last night. 39 points, 20 big rebounds, 6 assists. All of those contributing to his selection by our basketball staff as the CBS NBA Player of the Week. As the Pistons went 3-1 on the week, Lanier averaged 30.5 points a game with 57% at shooting average from the floor, a little better than 12 rebounds a game and 3.3 assists. So his performance in that big game against Buffalo last night more than justifies Bob Lanier's selection as our Player of the Week, and I'm sure you'd agree, Sonny.
Yeah, Bob Lanier happens to be one of my favorite basketball players, and I don't even feel that he has really tapped his great potential yet. He has the unique ability to combine two ingredients, strength, and he's very graceful. And along with that, this makes him the great basketball player that he eventually will be, and right now he's a pretty good one.
You really don't appreciate his bulk until you stand next to him, and then that just magnifies what you say about quickness and agility.
I agree with you wholeheartedly because he's a big man.
He sure is. Let's look at highlights of the first half of this game between Boston and Milwaukee. And here they come.
Boston had the best of it in the first half, and they did the thing that they can do so well. That's find the open man. Nelson, Don Chaney, layup, Celtic style. And again, the Celtics with good movement of the ball. JoJo White misses, and here's Paul Silas, the best offensive rebound in the game. This is good alertness on the part of the Celtics, and they steal the ball away, and they did a lot of that in the first half. Kareem had a lot of difficulty. Finkel puts pressure on him, and Finkel makes him force up a sky hook coming with the left hand. Great steal by Paul Westphal, and this is a schoolyard dunk. That's New York style slam dunk there.
Well, that's pretty good style and pretty effective. What do you think, Sonny, about the second half now?
I feel that Boston, if they can continue to apply the kind of pressure that they have at this point, will not have any problem. The Milwaukee Bucks really are not a strong basketball team this year, Pat. They've had a lot of trades. They've changed personnel in recent years around, and Boston is getting stronger every game, and they know how to apply a lot of pressure to Kareem, and Kareem has not been a factor in the first half of the game.
Okay, Sonny Hill, and we'll be back after the game, but right now we'll be ready for the start of the third quarter in just a moment.
With all your worries on a business trip, it shouldn't be too much to ask for a rent-a-car with wipers that wipe, lights that light, and heaters that heat. That's why Hertz introduced 54 of the toughest new standards in the industry. Standards for faster counter service and to help improve car maintenance, right down to testing the windshield wipers and washers between each rental. New standards in the industry from the worldwide leader. Rent a Ford or other fine car from Hertz. It's one less thing to worry about.
You probably use some extra antiperspirant before a tense situation. But even if you spray twice as long, most sprays still won't keep you drier than 2 seconds of dry formula Sure. Try Sure on your right side for just 2 seconds. Then try your spray on your left side for twice as long. If you're like most people, your spray won't keep you drier than 2 seconds of Sure.
Your spray won't keep you drier than 2 seconds of Sure.
John Havlicek. I'm standing in the museum area of the National Basketball Hall of Fame, tracing the development of the sport I enjoy so much. It is interesting to see how the equipment has changed since basketball was first played near here in 1891. You too can learn about the history of the sport by visiting the Hall of Fame at Springfield, Massachusetts. It is open daily except for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day.
The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame at Springfield College.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. The Shah of Iran talks about the world's struggle over oil and energy on 60 Minutes, today on CBS.
When you compare values, remember, all those features are standard on this all-new Toyota Corolla. Still, it's the lowest priced car in America. So if you missed any, we'll do it again. Now, if you still missed something, just get this book, The Small Car Bargain Hunter's Guide. It's free at your Toyota dealers. Compare. Then you can't miss.
It's National Ortho Month, and Ortho celebrates with a variety of sensational sales, each for a limited time only. Save on this low introductory price. The Orthomatic King will be $199.95. Save $41.95. Imagine a king size for only $158. Hurry, this sale is for a few days only. Another big saving, the Ortho Classic King size, now $299.95. These National Ortho Month prices include the famous Ortho Pack and Double Bonus. Ortho has 60 factory showrooms. Hurry to the one near you today.
That was a fantastic tennis match from Las Vegas. And, Oscar, we will try to equal it here with a devastating second half from the Boston Garden.
That's true. The Celtics are playing very good basketball now. They're doing everything right. It's a mark of an experienced basketball team. They're setting up very good and really executing out there.
As we look at Milwaukee's first half scoring, Abdul-Jabbar hit only 5 of 17 from the field. That's the key statistic. Boston's first half scoring, Cowens with 12, Havlicek with 10, Westphal, who came off the bench, also threw in 10. Paul Silas will start for Boston. He will not come off the bench this time. Chaney and JoJo are in the backcourt. Gary Brokaw, the rookie from Notre Dame, with possession. He and Jimmy Price play catch. They started at guards. Kevin Rustani is in the game. He did not start the first half. Give and go. Knocked away by Big Red.
Good block. Here comes the wave now.
Havlicek back to Cowens. Cowens joins them late. He has tremendous run.
And he's still at it. He's been playing a tremendous game so far, all over the court. Just saw that.
59-44. Abdul-Jabbar maneuvering. He must score a ton in the second half to get the Bucks back in there, and he certainly is capable of it.
But I think what the Bucks will have to do is get their offense started a little faster, because although they're getting the ball down into Kareem, they're taking a lot of time to get it done.
Havlicek, Dandridge there with him. Cowens again outside.
And it looks to me so far in the second half, Brent, that they're going right to Cowens because Kareem is laying back on the basket. He's not getting out, and Cowens is knocking in a little 15-foot jump shot.
Havlicek does an outstanding job on Bobby Dandridge. He has him this time. Dandridge does not hit, and Big Red with the outlet pass to JoJo White. Silas back to Havlicek, who's wide open.
The green wave can really bring it to you, and that's what they're doing right now.
Timeout by Larry Costello. He has seen enough. We are 1 minute and 20 seconds into the second half. And Larry said, that's not what I told you in the locker room. Let's see if we can get things together. So our score in the Boston Garden, 63-46.
These are Motorcraft Auto Parts. In tests supervised by an independent testing company, over 6,000 parts like these were installed in fleets of Ford, Plymouth, and Chevy taxis to see how tough the parts really were. After 3 million tough taxi miles, less than 1% of the parts couldn't take the punishment. When your car needs a battery, oil filter, shock absorbers, or tune-up parts, ask for Motorcraft Quality Auto Parts from Ford. Taxi tested tough.
When they asked me to try light beer from Miller, I was at first reluctant to do so. Then my distinguished colleague, Lawrence Lewis, urged me to try it, so I tried it. And I discovered that light is indeed less filling because it contains less carbohydrates and 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. I observed further that light truly tastes great. All right, Louis, drop the beer.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Now, a movie so big, it required 2 major studios to make, based on 2 best-selling novels, in production for 3 years, at a cost of over $14 million. The combined talents of 11 great stars, and the producer of the Poseidon Adventure have created the one film that towers above them all. Irwin Allen's production of The Towering Inferno. Check newspapers for a theater near you.
I'm Thornton Bradshaw, president of Atlantic Richfield Company. This is just one of the ideas sent to us about improving public transportation. We'll be sending out a certificate to everyone who submits an idea. And while we're pleased with the response so far, we're just not going to be happy till we've heard from everyone. So where's your idea on public transportation?
Send your ideas to Ideas, Box 30169, Los Angeles 90030.
Here comes chili, Hormel, the good time chili. Clap hands for Hormel chili now. Clap hands for Hormel flavor, great taste you're bound to favor. Hormel's the good time chili now. Oh, yeah. Hormel's the good time chili now.
American Savings is paying the new high interest on insured savings. With free checking accounts, you should save at American Savings.
This is Channel 4, KNBC, Los Angeles.
At 9 minutes before 7 o'clock tonight, the scoreboard in Houston's Astrodome flashed a score. Cincinnati had lost. The Dodgers had finally won the title in the National League West. The Dodgers game with the Astros was far from over, but it was stopped while the Dodgers players and staff took turns slapping each other on the back. Why not? The season is 162 games long. The congratulations had to wait until the middle of game 161. Good evening once again, everybody. That was long-awaited news for the Dodger faithful. It finally came tonight. And lest we steal Ross Porter's thunder, here with the happy details is Mr. Porter. Ross?
Paul, although they had taken the division lead for good on April the 14th, it had been a long, tense summer for the Dodgers. Their largest margin was 11 games on the afternoon of July the 10th, and that advantage was chopped to 1.5 games on September the 14th. But 8 years of frustration ended tonight when Cincinnati lost to Atlanta 8-1. An hour and 40 minutes later, the Dodgers wrapped up a meaningless 8-5 victory in Houston, and it was time to celebrate. A group of players who had remained subdued throughout the season, as serene in victory as in defeat, finally could let loose. And in a locker room at the Astrodome in Texas, they did. After 101 wins in 161 games, the Dodgers had clinched the flag on the next to last day of the season. Their manager, whose last winner had come in 1966, praised his squad.
I'm proud of this club for several reasons. First of all, we won it, and then we've been in a lot of tight places, you know, during the season where we had to win some games. We beat Cincinnati when we had to, and although we postponed it a little longer than I would like to have, I'm still very satisfied and very happy.
Jerry Doggett wasn't crying. He couldn't get the champagne out of his eyes. The Dodgers now open the best-of-5 playoff series Saturday in either Pittsburgh or St. Louis. The Pirates are 1 game ahead of the Cardinals in the Eastern Division with 1 to play. Pittsburgh rallied to win tonight, while St. Louis squandered a lead and lost. Baltimore also wrapped up the American League East later this evening, and we'll have all the details later as one of baseball's most exciting seasons enters its final days.
This is the KNBC News Service with Paul Moyer and Ross Porter. Kelly Lang, she's on vacation this week. Here again, Paul Moyer.
Mayor Tom Bradley has spent most of the past 2 days up in Sacramento looking for legislative help in ending the Marathon RTD, the bus strike here in Southern California. Tomorrow will likely be the key day in Bradley's campaign for that. There's going to be a hearing on a bill forcing binding arbitration in that dispute, and there is talk of a legislative 60-day cooling-off period. In either case, the buses would begin rolling quickly. That is exactly what Mayor Bradley wants.
All of it's, I think, a takeoff on the idea of some kind of binding arbitration or a bill that would require workers to go back on the job immediately with some kind of assurance to them that they're going to get a fair deal at the end of the negotiations or arbitration or whatever process is used.
Is there any thought at this time of a cooling off period, Mayor?
Yes, we've talked about that.
What are the possibilities?
I don't know. That's a matter that we've talked about, and whether that alternative is suggested and agreed upon by the committee or the legislature, something will be determined tomorrow.
With that, Mayor Bradley went off for more talks on the bus strike. Meantime, many other big city mayors were at the White House today talking about rapid transit. NBC's John Cochran has the story.
22 mayors emerged from their meeting with President Ford confident they have his support for a long-range mass transit bill. But he refused to give his support for an emergency measure to bail city transit systems out of their immediate financial problems.
All the mayors, the Conference of Mayors, have gone on record as being for a comprehensive long-range bill. We want it. We were told by the Senate people that we couldn't get it. And President Ford thinks we can get it, and he has agreed and suggested, rather, that we get this group together, including the membership from the U.S. Conference of Mayors, to find out once and for all what can be obtained. We need help now.
You were satisfied with the tenor of the meeting in there, Mr. Mayor?
Well, we're satisfied that everyone recognized the necessity for some help to mass transportation and to do it as quickly as we can.
Back in Sacramento, both houses of the legislature here in California passed bills tonight repealing controversial early pensions for lame duck lawmakers. Those proposals must now be reconciled before a final measure is sent to the desk of Governor Reagan, whose own pension would be cut almost in half by the version in the Assembly. Earlier, the Assembly overrode 5 of Reagan's vetoes, including the governor's veto of a bill to create a home loan program for low and middle income Californians. The governor himself came back to California tonight after a speaking tour of the eastern United States. Apparently, he did not want to stop and talk to reporters because he ducked out of the back door at Los Angeles International Airport right after he got off the plane. Among other things, that means no official comment from Reagan tonight on speculation that John Harmon